Welcome, Bod Nation. In the symphony of our lives, where the notes of busyness, expectation, and external voices often drown out our own inner melody, lies a transformative space, the power of silence. Today, we embark on a 10-day journey with Maya, a woman seeking refuge from the cacophony within, stepping into the hushed embrace of a mountain retreat. So, let's get started. Day 1. Dawn of stillness. The chill of the mountain air nips at Maya's cheeks as she steps out of the taxi. She inhales deeply, the crisp air filling her lungs, a clean slate against the noise and pollution of the city she left behind. The only sound is the crunch of snow under her boots as she approaches the wooden door of the retreat, with anticipation and a hint of trepidation swirling within her. As she pushes open the door, a wave of silence washes over her, an unfamiliar presence that feels both unsettling and strangely comforting. Inside, the muted warmth of the lodge welcomes her. Sunlight streams through high windows, illuminating motes of dust dancing in the still air. She finds a cozy reading nook by the fireplace and sinks into a plush armchair. A worn copy of Thich Nhat Hanh's Peace is Every Step, resting on her lap. As she turns the first page, a sense of quiet determination settles over her. Day 2. Amplified chatter. The silence isn't empty. It's teeming. Maya soon discovers that the absence of external noise amplifies the internal cacophony. Whispers, anxieties, and long-forgotten judgments all rise to the surface like bubbles in a forgotten soda. Frustration bubbles within her, and the urge to escape this self-inflicted pressure cooker is overwhelming. But she remembers the words of the retreat guide. The storm is inevitable, but you are not the storm. With renewed resolve, she sits cross-legged on her meditation cushion, focusing on the rhythm of her breath, a tiny anchor in the churning sea of her thoughts. Day 3. A crack in the armor. A tear rolls down Maya's cheek, catching the glint of the afternoon sun filtering through the pines. It's a tear of release, of an old wound finally acknowledged and allowed to heal. The dam breaks, and a torrent of tears follows, washing away years of pent-up emotions. Shame, anger, sadness. Each wave carries her a little closer to the shore of acceptance. As the storm subsides, a sliver of sunlight pierces the clouds, casting a warm glow on her tear-streaked face. In that moment, she feels a flicker of hope, a tiny spark of the light that has always been there, waiting to be embraced. Day 4. The language of light. In the stillness of dawn, Maya awakens to the sound of birdsong, a gentle serenade to the newly born day. As she steps outside, the air is crisp and alive with the scent of pine needles and damp earth. She walks, eyes drawn to the sun-dappled leaves, the intricate patterns of a spider web glistening with dewdrops, and the graceful arc of a hawk against the azure sky. Each detail whispers a story, a poem written in the language of light and shadow. Suddenly, a laugh bubbles up from within her, unbidden and pure. It fills the clearing, startling a flock of crows who rise in a flurry of black feathers. The sound echoes back from the mountains, a joyous symphony of one. Maya realizes that in the silence, she has learned to listen to the symphony of her own being, the rhythm of her heart, and the laughter that has been buried under layers of self-doubt and expectation. Day 5. Forgiveness under the open. Sky evening paints the sky in fiery hues of orange and purple. Maya sits on a weathered bench outside the retreat, gazing at the star-studded expanse above. Memories like constellations come into focus. Faces, names, and whispered words, both hurtful and kind. She remembers betrayals and misunderstandings, and the weight of unforgiveness is like a stone in her chest. This time, the tears come quietly, a gentle cleansing rain. But with each tear, a burden is lifted. She forgives herself for past mistakes, for holding on to pain, and for living in the shadows of the past. She offers forgiveness to those who have wronged her, not for them but for herself, releasing the grip of resentment that has held her captive. As the moon bathes the landscape in silver light, Maya feels lighter and freer, like a kite finally untethered from the ground. Day 6. The mirror within. The silence becomes a mirror, reflecting Maya's inner landscape with brutal honesty. Memories, fears, and desires all surface like forgotten treasures in the depths of her mind. She delves into them, each one a portal to a hidden chamber of her soul. She confronts insecurities she'd kept hidden, acknowledges desires she deemed shameful, and embraces the shadow aspects of her being. The experience is both painful and enlightening. She peels back layers of illusion, discovering the raw, authentic core of herself. It's messy, imperfect, yet breathtakingly beautiful. In the acceptance of her own darkness, she finds the light that has always been there, shining ever brighter with each layer revealed. Day 7. Communion with nature. The morning mist dances around Maya's feet as she walks through the ancient forest. Sunlight filters through the canopy, dappling the path with emerald shadows. The air hums with the sound of insects, the whispers of leaves, and the gurgling of a hidden stream. Maya feels a deep sense of belonging, as if she is part of this living tapestry, one thread woven into the intricate fabric of nature. She stops at the edge of a clearing, where a gnarled oak tree is its centerpiece. She rests her hand against its rough bark, feeling the energy pulsating within, the same energy that flows through her own veins. Closing her eyes, she inhales the earthy scent, the pine needles, and the damp moss, and feels a sense of connection so profound it brings tears to her eyes. In that moment, the boundaries between self and others dissolve, and she experiences the interconnectedness of all things. Day 8. Dancing with silence guided by the gentle chimes of a Tibetan singing bowl, Maya enters the meditation hall. The air is thick with the scent of incense, and the floor is a canvas of colorful cushions. As she sits cross-legged, the silence surrounds her like a living entity. This time, instead of fear, she feels a sense of curiosity, an invitation to explore its depths. She closes her eyes and focuses on the rhythm of her breath, a metronome beating out the steady pulse of life. Thoughts flit through her mind like fireflies, but she lets them go, returning to the anchor of her breath. Gradually, the silence transforms. It becomes a canvas of sound, a symphony of inner whispers, and the gentle hum of her own energy field. She moves her body instinctively, a silent dance guided by the rhythm within. In the embrace of silence, Maya experiences a profound peace, a state of being beyond thought and beyond words. It's a taste of wholeness, of unity with the universe, a feeling she carries with her long after the meditation ends. Day 9. The Song of Self. The moon bathes the landscape in a silvery glow as Maya sits by the fireplace, a mug of steaming tea warming her hands. She picks up her journal, her pen poised above the blank page. Words flow effortlessly, not as descriptions of events, but as expressions of her newfound self-awareness. She writes of the storm within, the cracks in the armor, the language of light, the mirror of reflection, the communion with nature, and the dance with silence. Writing becomes a form of prayer, an offering of gratitude for the journey she has undertaken. As she reads her words back, she realizes the silence hasn't been empty. It has filled her with a song, a melody of her own being, a symphony of peace and self-acceptance. Day 10. Stepping out, transforming. 10 days later, Maya steps out of the retreat, sunlight glinting off the snow-capped peaks. The world looks the same, yet everything feels different. There's a lightness in her step, a clarity in her eyes, and a warmth radiating from her aura. The cacophony of the world is still there, but it no longer drowns out the song of her inner silence. She knows the journey isn't over. The challenges of life will still arise, and the storm clouds will gather again. But now she is equipped with the tools she needs to navigate them. The power of stillness, the language of light, and the melody of her own being. And as she steps back into the world, she carries a secret peace within her, a reminder that the power to find solace and joy lies not outside, but in the deepest reaches of the silent space within. Maya's journey through silence is but a ripple in the vast ocean of Buddhism. We are all voyagers on this endless quest, seeking the lighthouse within the storm. 10 days, 10 minutes, 1 breath. The time is yours to choose. Let the silence be your mirror, reflecting your strength, resilience, and boundless potential. Step into the depths, confront the shadows, and dance with the light. It's there, waiting. The melody of your soul whispering its unique symphony. Buddhism is not a destination, it's a revolution. A quiet, powerful uprising against the tyranny of noise. Join us, brothers and sisters, in the symphony of stillness. Find your 10 days, discover your power, and awaken the Buddhism within.